What's up? What's up? Thank you for joining another session with Cookie Jar FX. I am your host, Eric Foreman, here to provide some updates from our analysis that we did yesterday, Sunday, for the start of August. We are here with a successful day starting Monday. So I'll review one of the trades that I got in, the profit, and then just kind of what we're looking at going into tomorrow, Tuesday, August 4th, and obviously the rest of the week. So, if you guys remember from yesterday's session, uh, I was reviewing all of these pairs here, the watch list. Aussie dollar was on my list, Aussie CAD, New Zealand CAD, Euro dollar, dollar Swiss, pound dollar. So the markets open up Sunday evenings for the forex market at 6 p.m. Eastern time here in the U.S. Uh, so was able to kind of capture a euro dollar short uh, last night, and I'll share that with you guys now. So obviously this was one of my top picks, my top 10 from a gradient scale, and I like the way it was setting up on the 4 hour. So we had got this pullback here into the 20 MA, and I figured price was going to be rejecting off of that, and we immediately dropped down for a nice target to the 50. So when I entered, my stop loss, I have it marked at 119. Yeah, as you can see, it's still here. And obviously, that wasn't a 2-to-1 trade or anything like that. But I knew it wasn't going to break up that high, but I wanted to make sure I had a protective marker on my chart and on my platform. But my target being that I figured the 50 would give us a bounce on this 4 hour time frame, I didn't want to stay in a move long because exactly what happened was a bounce. So overnight, I took the trade. Target dropped down. It was about a 65 pip target from where I had entered down to the 50 MA. Took profit, and then price immediately started to work its way back up. So currently, what I'm looking at is for price to reject again off of this 20 MA, potentially with maybe a topping tail or a wick, as most people know of it, and then start working to break price below this 50 MA. Because once we get below this 4 hour 50, we should be able to start working towards a bigger target. So that's going to be my plan and strategy on that. And I'll share with you guys the exact trade profit and what I'm in now, which is pound dollar. I'll get into that in a second, just to show factual proof that there was the euro dollar trade. It hit my take profit that I have marked. I have it here in my trade journal. And I walked away with $64.60. That's about 64 pips, 65 pips or so for 12 hours. So pretty good work and pretty good start to the journey. So now lightly getting into the pound dollar trade, because this was also one of my top 10 picks, right? So we look at pound dollar or top nine. It was the secondary. I like dollar Swiss, but I didn't want to take it because it's inverted from euro dollar. So it was pound dollar I was looking at, New Zealand CAD and Aussie CAD, but these were still little. They was there for me, but I just didn't have any interest, and they actually worked out in the direction of a short. But I just preferred pound dollar because of the entry opportunity that I had. So I'll share this with you guys now. Pound dollar, we quickly review that. Let me put this terminal down. So I had put a pending order for a sell limit pending order on any pullback that transpires on pound dollar, right? So it broke this 20 on a 4 hour, and I anticipated a pullback, which it did. So I had a pending order here exactly at the 20 MA. That pending order got executed. I had a secondary pending order at the 8, a little bit further above on price. But because I guess the equity balance that I have in my account, it didn't free up too much margin for me to enter the trade. This £1 dollar trade is pretty much costing me about $600 to enter at 10 cents. So I couldn't get in. I can get in more, maybe like a point zero 0.03 or point zero 0.04, something like that. But it's not even going to be worth it. I'm going to stick with my trade management style and protection and just go with the point 10. So right now, obviously, price is moving upward. Against me is negative $26. Nothing crazy. I'm not crying over that. But I have my not take profit, my stop loss here as a protective marker, just in case we break above this candlestick here. We do not want that to happen. I don't anticipate for that to happen, but we never know. So when I go down to at least the 1 hour, I see that there's a flat 50 in May here. So because that the candlesticks are pulling towards that, my assumption as a trader now is that we're gonna pull up at least to that 1 hour 50, and then price should be able to reject and start working its way down. So I don't anticipate a full retracement back up to my stop loss. And similar to what I shared with a good friend of mine, I've seen these moves a million times. So what's probably gonna happen, and there's another indicator I have to get in here that shows me the time frame on how many hours are left, but it's my stats indicator. But I explained to him that this third candlestick that's getting worked on now, I'll probably anticipate some type of topping tail or wick that's going to close back below the 20 and the 8, because the 8 in May is about to cross over. And once it crosses over, we'll probably start seeing a complete downtrend. So if you look at previous history here, the 8 hasn't crossed over except here in this area here. So once it crossed, price started to work its way up, and it didn't cross since then. So here we're coming up against that idea now, which is more than likely going to cross, and then we'll start being able to see price action start working towards that 50 in May on a 4 hour. So I have this trade logged into my trade journal as well. Entry price is 1.30523. Stop loss is at 1.31131. So that's a risk of about 60 pips if I take a loss on this, for a potential gain of about 115. Let's just call it 115. So roughly almost a 2-to-1, 1-to-2 risk to reward trade. I'll take that. So on the winning side, I'll be getting $115 if I win this. If I lose, I'll be losing $60, which will cut the profit that I made on euro dollar down, but we'll still be up $4 if I end up losing. And we'll just get back in it. We'll not get back in, but we'll get back into the next trade and kind of go from there. I'll be looking at my 70% stop loss adjustment price target, which I have marked at 1.29718. So it's roughly in this area. It'll probably, I think, roughly about 80 pips. I think the volume would be if I take a partial profit off the table and just let the other 30% of the trade run, which means I would be killing I'll be killing 7 cents of the 10-cent trade to collect some profit. So yeah, that's the target. My anticipation that we'll probably break below the 50, but I'm not going to take it that far as of yet. That 50 will match up below the 8. And once we break below the 8, we'll close out, and then I'll start setting up for a nice cone trade, which is in our strategy book. And that's a monster cookie trade, or cookie monster trade. And we'll load up on that, roll out the Brinks truck, gather up your friends, borrow some cash, whatever. I'm trading it all the way to the bank. So, and then obviously with the RSI level, we're still very much extended here over the 70. So I'm still definitely anticipating a downward activity and movement here. So I'm going to leave it at that. The other trades, as I shared, are currently in motion. So one of the other pairs that was on our spectrum and in our play was what else? Aussie dollar here, and that's working out just right. So we can take a look at that. I'm clicking the wrong thing. So Aussie dollar was another pair for a short, and we got a little bit of that activity here today. So we're still working downward. I'm not really interested in on the daily. It was like one of my weakest picks. So that was definitely going to be the last currency pair that I was going to be trading. Aussie CAD was another one on the list. So we can see how that's working out. And we did get a nice decline on this move, and still potentially working into our favor. So that was a nice little drop after our analysis of down to at least the 20, about 62 pips. So pretty good on that. New Zealand CAD was another good pick of the week for us to start off with. And that's a nice little drop. And we're still looking at a nice little decline here on the daily, at least down to the 50. So I saw this yesterday, last night, and I could have took a position on this as well, including my euro dollar trade, but I just hesitated on it. And that would have gave, at least currently right now, 47, 48 pips. But the overall target would be at least 100 down to the 50. And dollar Swiss, we already looked at. No, we didn't. We didn't look at dollar Swiss. So we'll look at that now. And that was looking pretty good. I think the biggest move out of today. So yesterday, when we was reviewing it on the analysis, this bottom and tail was here after that 10-bar decline, and then we immediately just rose for the day as high as 120 pips. Monster move, and I didn't catch it until much later on a review when I looked at it and peeked at it during the day. But I'm not sweating. You don't want to try to chase all the opportunities and moves, but that was good to kind of see that one worked out in our favor. So this one I wouldn't be trading long term. My target would probably be at least up to the 20, because now we're an official cone trade. So that would probably be the main target there. But I'm not going to get into that because most of my capital is tied into pound dollar. I don't need any margin calls, trying to time myself into too many moves at one time, and then my free margin equity starts tightening up. So we'll see how this all flows. But so far, I am very pleased with the setup and activities of the market. And again, I'm in pound dollar, and we'll see how it kind of flows out from there and plays its part. But yeah, keep you guys posted. Look forward to the next video tomorrow. And yeah, happy trading, guys. All right.